Well, here's our next project. This thing is crusty, rusty, dirty. Hasn't been run in, oh, who knows how long, but probably 15-20 years or more. Engine may be old enough that it still has point ignition. I guess we'll find that out. First thing we're going to do, though, is wash it. I mean, this has got tetanus shot written all over it, so we'll get it cleaned up first. We need to do something to keep the water out of the carburetor. So I'm just going to stick a little paper towel in here. And I've got this an old rubber glove that I'll set around there with a twist tie or tie wrap, and we'll see if we can't use that to keep the water out. That should do. Go get the garden hose. The last person to work on this mower was pretty creative, for lack of a better term. This is part of a fishing lure holding this wheel on. And the one on the other side, yeah, hose clamp holding that wheel on. Now this is an aluminum bodied mower. I thought that, you know, it might be in good shape, but it's really not. Now that we've gotten a little bit of the dirt off of it, it does have a crack that has been professionally repaired. There's a bracket there you can see, and another bracket here that's been fabbed in there. I guess we can call that fabricating. Well, I guess we'll start by seeing if it pulls over, whether it's seized up or not. Well, we know we got compression and it turns over, so let's see if we got any oil in it before we go any further. It's a bit low. And again, I'm using the used oil just because I don't want to put new oil in something you don't know whether it's going to run or not. I always seem to save a little bit of used oil for my push mower, for my rider. Still pretty clean after one season. Now these ones without a dipstick, you basically just fill them to the top. Or just about anyways. I guess next we'll check for spark. That's pretty rusty looking, so before I go and put the spark tester on that, I'll clean up some of the rust a little bit. need to hear that running right now. Just roll that up a bit. Should probably do a little better job than that. Yeah, that should do for now. We got our spark tester, we'll plug that in. If it lights up, we got spark. No light up. Make sure the throttle's in the right position. That could have been it too. Nope. Okay, so no spark. Like I said earlier, I'm assuming this has got points. So I'll pull the pull start shroud off, have a look, pull the flywheel off, and then check out the points. There's just 3 bolts that hold the pull start on. 7/16. It's been a while since I've messed around with points on a lawnmower. And I have to think this through. It's not going to be just automatic in my mind. It's been quite a while. Oh, we got the throttle assembly to loosen off yet. Surprisingly, that works on this. That's just a little clip that holds the cable in place. Well, we didn't get all the crud out of it. So looking underneath the flywheel, not sure whether we can get a look in here or not. Let me adjust you down a little bit. Points are right under this here. So yeah, it does have points, so we'll pop that flywheel off. There's little 1/4-inch bolts that hold this screen in. Just get that out of the way. I don't have the proper tools to pull the flywheel nut off here, so I'm just going to use an old-fashioned pipe wrench. and just a screwdriver in the fins here to hold the flywheel from spinning. Gotta be a little careful though. You can break the fins if that's too tight, which it's not. Huh. A little surprised that that came off so as easy as it did, but that's all that holds the flywheel on, and a tapered fit, obviously. So sometimes we can just wrap this with a hammer and pry up a little, and it will come off. We'll give that a try. Get a little hammer. If not, we do have a puller that will fit. Yeah, might have to go with a puller. What we'll be using is basically like a steering wheel puller. Well, the other puller we had out earlier, I just couldn't get it set up right. I didn't have the right bolts to go into the flywheel here. So we've got the job puller out now. This may not end well. You can easily break these flywheels doing this, but, well, we don't have anything invested in it, so guess no harm, no foul. It popped right off real easy. Wow, that was simple. Okay, nothing broke. We're still in good shape. These little bolts holding the caps on here are 1/4 inch again. Now usually when you get it ripped down this far, you're just going to go out and replace the points and condensers. See if we can't zoom in a little on this. So there's your condenser here, and your points run up against it and open and close. So we'll go through and clean all that up, see if we can't get spark. I went and dug around in the toolbox and I found an old emery cloth I've had in there for many years that I've been using to clean points with for a long time. I just get that in between and shine it up. I'll put some compressed air through that just to clean it up a little bit, and then we'll see if we can't check to see if the point gap's correct. Well, we had to get the book out. Point gap, that's 20 thou. Spark plug gap is 30 thou. The coil armature air gap. Let's see if I can't focus on that. 2-leg is 10 to 14. 3-leg is 12 to 16. This is 2-leg. Aluminum engine. That's what this is. Okay, so 10 to 14. We'll start with the point gap. It's not even really touching. don't like the way that looks. This point should be closing. And open, it's not open to 10, that's for sure. Or 20, sorry. Let's get 15 in there. 15 doesn't even fit. Yeah, it looks maybe it's about half of what it should be. So we can go through and adjust that. Looks like it's the same 1/4 inch screw as everything else here. So this is pretty straightforward. Just loosen off the little bolt that holds the condenser. We'll slide the condenser back just a hair until we have 20 thou gap. And tighten it back up again. Just a little too much. Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Let's see. Boy, it's been a while since I've done this. And it shows. Okay, so what you want is just to feel a little drag on the feeler gauge. And that's basically where we're at right now. Maybe just a little tighter. Yeah, just feeling the drag. I'll spin it, make sure it closes. Yep, it closes. Okay, we're going to clean up the armature a little bit, put everything back together, and see if we have spark. So we're just going to run some fine sandpaper across the magnets on the flywheel, and as again on here on the armature, just to clean them up a little bit. It's kind of crusty. Don't want the rust and dirt getting in the way of good spark, so. A little bit on the flywheel, and we should get ready to put her back together. First, we'll put the cover back on. Next with the flywheel, and we'll make sure we line that keyway up and get that on the right way. Where did the keyway go? There it is. Whoops. Don't lose the keyway. Like we almost did here. There we go. Goes on next. And again, we'll just dropping tools everywhere. Use our old pipe wrench to tighten that up. Just good and snug. You don't want to break any of the ears off on the flywheel. So the armature gap was 14, right? Let's just double check that. Yeah, that looks about perfect. Yeah, we don't need to adjust that any. Put our screen back on. Now if this doesn't work, we'll just order a new set of points, condenser. Well, I gotta take it back off again. Forgot the washer. That figures. Like I said, it's been a while since I've had these apart. That's my story. My excuse anyways. Yeah, it's tightened back up. Really curious to see if this is going to have spark or not. Let's move you over the side here. We'll even give this a shot before we put all the bolts back in. No, I'm not seeing anything. That's a little unfortunate. I was hoping to get spark out of that. Let's pull the plug anyways. Well, it's dirty and cruddy, but it would clean up. I'm going to clean that up and just try it in there, just to be extra certain that we have to replace the points. Went back and cleaned the points one more time. I knew it wouldn't make a difference, or at least I thought it wouldn't make a difference, but I thought I'd better try anyways before I buy points and put any money into this. But surprise, surprise, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not, but yeah, we got spark now. Let's see if we can't get a good view of that. Nothing's tight on this, so. So yeah, well, I guess we'll put it back together and keep on going. This seems really dry, so we're gonna put a little bit of lube right under these tabs here. Just a little bit of our fluid film will do. Just a squirt. It's not returning real well. Maybe we'll try to get a little under that pulley there and get it underneath on the spring as well. Oh, that did it. That's much smoother now. That fluid film is awesome stuff. Seven/16 to tighten those up. We'll squirt a little bit of the fluid film also on the throttle controls over here. They're a little crusty looking. We gotta put the screw in yet that holds the throttle cable. That screw stripped out. It's not holding. We're just going to tap it with a hammer. That might be all it takes. Close that hole up a bit. I'll bring you over here. Oh, it's this hole here. It's just a little too big now. Well, give that a shot. Yeah, I think that worked. Yeah, there we go. Got throttle control. I think next we're just going to spray some fogging oil into the spark plug hole, just because we know it's so dry as I'm in run. That's probably overkill. It's not necessary, but and we still got good spark. Well, I guess we'll put the plug back in. Good and snug. That spark plug cap's just a little loose too, so we're going to pinch that with a pair of pliers. That's better. Okay, so let's get all this junk off the mower. Yeah, we'll just put, half an ounce or so down the throat of the carburetor. That's some fuel. Let's see what happens. Falling off my blocks. That sounds promising. Let's try a little more fuel. Yeah, maybe we'll pull the spark plug again and have another look at that. Might have got all crowded up. Looks like we've lost spark again. Yeah, nothing on the spark plug. I guess we'll pull it apart one more time, clean up the points for the third time, and see if third time's a charm, I guess. Let's give this one more try. We even went and got a new emery board. Maybe that'll help. Whoop, that just fell right off. There we go. Whoop, got it back in. Not much room to do this. I'm just going to blow that crud out of there and we'll check the point gap again. 20 thou, and it just opens it up a touch, so it'd probably be about 18. That's got to be good enough. Alright, we'll put that back together and give it another try. Now let's throw this together again real quick. See if we can get spark for the third try. Just hand tight for now. Not sure you can see that. Oh, yeah, we got spark back. Nice blue spark. And bring you over here. Well, let's put it back together properly again and see if we can't get it fired up. Well, we've been to this point 2 or 3 times already. It's got spark again. I'm just going to put a ½ ounce or so of premix down the throat of the carb. Figure I could use a little extra lube, so that's why we're going with the premix. Oh, fell off the blocks. That means the blade hit. I'm going to try again. When the handle fell down, it pulled the cable over and shut it off, so it was grounding out. That's why we weren't getting it started here. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, another little bit of fuel. Wow, it might just run. Let's try it one more time. Partly because I'm in disbelief that this old piece of junk's gonna run. I'm surprised. Well, I guess next we'll take a look inside the fuel tank. We haven't done that yet. Yeah, what are we going to find in here? You see the... Yeah, a little rust and crud. Yeah, we better rinse that out next. What we'll do is we'll just pop it off and run it over the parts washer. Clean it out real quick, blow it out with some air, rinse it out with some new fuel, and put her back on. There's 2 bolts that hold the carb on. One right there. Oh, that's a different style. Usually they're here. One over here and one back here. This motor's quite old. A little stiff yet. Spacer back here too. There it is. It's just a small spacer. Bolt. Should slide right off, I think. Well, first we'll pull the PCV line off. And then all we got left is the linkage. If you tilt it down, it should pop right off. There. We'll run that over to the parts cleaner. After a few minutes in the parts cleaner, it's better, but marginally better. We'll blow it off with some compressed air and get the rest of the parts cleaner out of the tank and rinse her out with some fresh fuel and go from there. Not as clean inside as I'm hoping, but oh well, it is what it is. Well, we'll bolt this back on and give it a shot. First we'll hook up the linkage. That went right on. Spin this hose around for the crank vent. We've got 2 bolts to hold it on. Obviously this isn't the original tank, it's the wrong color. And somebody's been screwing around with this thing a few times. Maybe I'll look up the VIN number later and find out what year this thing is. It's because it's not new, that's for sure. It's got to be from the late 60s? I don't know. Be interesting to find out. If I can find a number on it, I'll do that. Well, let's get a little bit of fresh fuel in it. And we'll cheat one more time with a little bit of fuel down the throat of the carb. Oh, gas cap back on. Move you out of the way a little here. Can you see the sparks coming out of the muffler? Just the hot rust. Wow, surprising. Better shut it off before it falls off the sawhorses. You remember the hose clamp that was on the front wheel? We've taken that off. So we better put the proper cotter pin through there. And we'll get that buttoned up and we'll get it up on the ground and let it run for a few minutes. Well, here we are again, back the next day. I did look up the VIN last night. Best I can come up with is it's a 1966 model. Well, why don't we give this a try and see how it starts cold. And we just got a few more things to do to it. We can sharpen the blade and get the wheels put on properly, and we're about done. But let's give this a crank and see what it's like. Throttle cable is not giving us all the movement we need to go from high speed to shutting it off, so we'll play around with that too. But all in all, for something from 1966 has been sitting for, oh, who knows how long, probably 20 years. And for us to get it running in so little time, with doing not much else than cleaning the fuel system and cleaning up the points and really not a whole lot else, it's kind of surprising. These old Briggs motors, they just seem to want to run forever. Only thing we have to do now is find an air cleaner for it, put the tires on or wheels on properly, maybe we'll even sharpen the blade. Let's pull that blade off and we'll get it sharpened up. So 9/16 holds that on. Spacer on there. It must be an older universal blade, but it works. To make sure you put it together in the same order. If you want to watch me sharpen this blade, you're going to have to put up with listening to the compressor, I guess. It'll get a little loud. And that's just sanding disc on the die grinder. I find that works pretty good. Well, we'll get the blade bolted back on. I've got the spacer in place. We've got a nice sharp edge on it. The fan part of the blade, the part that curls up, always goes up. It's got the impact set on its lightest setting. And that should do. Maybe one more for good luck. Yeah, there we go. So just the wheel. Right here. This isn't the same wheel as all the rest of them, so it doesn't fit quite right. So we fabbed up a little washer to go behind it. That should keep it on, and then we just got to put this little snap ring on. Of course, I didn't bring my pliers over. That doesn't fit very well. Not at all. You have to go for a smaller size snap ring. Be right back. Alright, this one should work. I found a handle in the parts pile out back. I just got to drill a couple holes to make that fit. Find an air cleaner. I haven't been able to locate one yet, but I'm sure there's one around here somewhere. And that's about all I got to do to finish this up. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that. Thanks for watching.